I want to begin. I had asked the question earlier this week on Facebook, and maybe I worded the question incorrectly. I don't know. I asked, the question I asked was, what are some of the dumbest things that you've done for love? The dumbest things that you've done for love. And I was a little bit surprised at some people went like deep. Like and I'm like, holy, I don't even know how to respond. And it got a little bit crazy. So some of them were a little more lighthearted, which is kind of what I was aiming for. One person talked about spending an insane amount of time at one of those claw machines, doing his very best, dropping like $40 in quarters to get his girlfriend the teddy bear that she wanted out of the claw machine, right? That would be pretty insane. One person, I wish the Meducases were here this morning. I appreciate it. One person said that the dumbest thing he ever did for love was saying that he was a Steelers fan. The dumbest thing he ever did for love. Yeah, love can cause us, I think, to do some crazy things. I'll tell you real quick a story, and I should have had Liz help me brush up a little bit. I don't want to get the. I had this idea, and I don't even remember where the idea came from, but I wanted to give Liz. This was long after we were married and had kids. Wanted to give her a date night in Destin, a date night in Destin. And we couldn't afford to stay very long, but I surprised her with this trip. And we were on Allegiant, which, if you're familiar, is like the cheapest dinky plane you can be on. And we flew, and we were there Friday most of the day, stayed until Saturday mid-afternoon, and left Saturday night and got home back into Covington or whatever at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And I was telling my mom I had this idea. I was trying to work through the details, and the goal again was to just have a date night in on the ocean that Friday night in Destin. And I just thought that was kind of an interesting. And I was telling my mom about this because I was trying to plan through everything, and she's like, "That is the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. That is insane. That is just ridiculous. Like, you're wasting all this money and I'll tell you, Liz didn't think so. She was flattered with the idea, and we had a wonderful time. Didn't get to spend. It's hard. I say this a lot of times that we can usually find somebody to babysit our kids once. It's getting somebody to babysit them the second time. That is a little bit of a challenge. Uh, but we had a wonderful time, and the stupid things, the silly things, the crazy things that we do when we're in love. Maybe you know what it is to make a fool of yourself in the name of love. I'm sure all of us probably did silly things or crazy things in high school, just goofy things. Would, of course, things were a little bit different. Not we had cell phones, but flip phones, and we didn't really get to do a whole lot like when I was in high. But it was a cool thing for me to be able to call my girlfriend every evening, and so I would make a list of things to talk about with my girlfriend on the phone, just so that, because I mean, otherwise, I mean, honestly, if you don't, then you're just like, it's just crickets, and that's awkward. So I would make a list of things to talk with Liz on the phone about when we were in high school, just so that I could spend as much time as possible on the phone with her. Again, dumb things that we do, silly things that we do for love. And why do we do those things? Why do we do those things? Well, I think it's because we are in a pursuit. We are pursuing someone else. And so we do all kinds of things to try to impress that person or to get that person. And so we're in a pursuit. And specifically, husbands and wives who are here, I just want to ask, are you still in a pursuit? Are you still pursuing your spouse? Are you still passionately pursuing their heart? Now, so some might say, and it might be even make sense, that you don't really need to do that anymore, right? You only need to pursue the thing that you don't already have. And I obviously have Liz, she's mine. So I don't need to pursue her anymore because I already have her. You know what I think that is? It's lazy, right? It can become, marriage can become a very apathetic relationship when I'm not continuing to pursue my spouse. And how well does laziness work in other areas of our lives? Right? Like if I'm physically lazy, I get fat, right? I'm there. Right? If I'm lazy at work, I get fired. If I'm lazy with my finances, I end up in major debt. In fact, in just about every area of life, in every place that we might pursue something, laziness always loses. Laziness loses. And that certainly, I think, pertains to the way that I pursue my bride. Laziness is going to lose. If you remember from last week, we talked about priorities and protecting our priorities and how God has to be our number one priority, right? And then spouses become our number two priority. And today, as we continue, I just want to remind you, because we spent a good amount of time, Genesis chapter 2, verses 24 and 25. This is actually our memory verse for this series. I believe, yeah, look at this with me as I read it. And again, this is a memory verse for the series. It says, therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, right? We see the priority there. The priority is made that the man holds fast to his wife and they become one flesh. Again, the priority is there. There's not another relationship that you will enjoy with another human being that you two become one flesh. It says the man and his wife were both naked and they were not ashamed. There's a word in verse 24 in the Hebrew that I want to draw your attention to. If you have your outline, you can look at it there in the bulletin, and it's on there as well. But it's the word, I'm not a Hebrew scholar, debak. Debak. I think it's also the next slide, hopefully, if I did it. Yeah, there we go. To unite. It's in the English Standard, it's the hold fast to. It literally means to unite or to pursue hard. And again, if you're looking at your outline, you'll find there's actually three different texts that I put on the outline with that use that same Hebrew word. But each time it's used a little bit differently. And so I put those there so that if you want it, you don't have to, but if you want to maybe go back and study that word a little bit more in depth, you can do that with those texts. But I really want to focus on what actually it comes from a description of warfare in Judges chapter 20 and verse 45. Now, hear me out. I'm not trying to compare marriage with warfare, but I want you to notice the way in which the word is translated from the New King James Version, Judges chapter 20 and verse 45. There we go. Here's what it says. It says, then they turned and fled the wilderness to the rock of Rimmon, and they cut down 5,000 of them on the highways. And here's where that word debak comes in. Then they pursued them relentlessly up to get them and killed 2,000 of them. But pursued them relentlessly. And see, the same word that's used to describe the way a husband and wife hold fast to one another. They cling to one another. It's also used to describe the way in war the enemy or the winning party would pursue relentlessly the enemy. Right? And here's the point that I want to make. Holding fast to your wife or your spouse, your husband, becoming one flesh is about an ongoing, never-ending, relentless pursuit of each other. And so I just want to ask, are you relentlessly pursuing your number two that we talked about last week? Are you holding fast to one another? Now, let me give you three biblically founded principles that I think help us in our pursuit of one another. Number one, when you think of something good, say it. When you think of something good, say it. Now, every time you think of something good about your spouse, tell them. Like, why on earth would I ever rob my bride of the blessing of hearing the good things that I think about her? Right? And sometimes I think what happens is I have good intentions. I think these things and I have these good intentions, but they never come out. I never actually say them. And I think sometimes, again, they say something about good intentions, right? There's this saying that we've probably heard before that hell is often paved with good intentions. You see, good intentions isn't good enough. And so I need to commit to every time I think something good about my wife, I'm going to tell her. I mean, there's no, it doesn't even have to, I don't have to be with her. I can text it to her, right? Every time I think something good, I'm going to tell her. The Hebrew letter, Christians are challenged. And I recognize, look at this really quick with me. It says, but build one another up every day and do it as long as there's still time. Then none of you will become stubborn. Um, you won't be fooled by sin's tricks, right? But build one another up every day and do it as long as there's still time. Then none of you will become stubborn. You won't be fooled by sin's tricks. Now, I know and recognize that whoever the Hebrew writer is, we don't really know exactly who wrote the book of Hebrews. There's a lot of conjecture about that. Whoever it is, I recognize that they didn't write this about the marriage relationship. This is written about the church and about the way that we relate to one another as Christians. But man, if anything else could just as easily apply to my relationship with my spouse, I don't know what it would be. Right? In fact, in the moments when perhaps my spouse has been a little bit cold or hard toward me, I wonder maybe if I could just ask, when was the last time that I was consistently and constantly encouraging her? When was the last time that I pursued her with my words? Am I building her up? See, that's what whoever the Hebrew writer is says is going to keep us from becoming stubborn, becoming fooled by sin. And I want to get practical with you all really quickly. Men, when you are pursuing your bride with words, pursue her with words of affection. Listen, I think Paul knew what he was saying, right? In Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25, he says pretty clearly, the husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, right? You see, here's the thing is wives, I've lost my spot. uh, she needs to know that you love her. She needs to hear that out loud from you, because the question that she's asking, whether she says it out loud or not, she's asking us every day, do you love me? Do you love me? And so she needs to hear that from me at least twice a day. sometimes more. And sometimes I'm thankful for this because I'm a little bit absent-minded as a man. Sometimes she'll just come to me and she came to me the other day. It was toward the end of the day. She'd had a hard day at work, and she is school and all these things. She came and she grabbed me in the kitchen. She said, "I just need you to hold me." And she said, "And I need you to dote over me." so, so I just had to take a few minutes, right? And she just needed to hear from me, right? That I love her, right? And then that's so true. And listen, here's a trick that could work for you in your pursuit of your wife, men. And it's free. You can slip me a 5 on the way out if you want. That's fine. Every time you go to say I love you, add the word because and then change the ending. Right? I love you because you're my best friend. I love you because you're the best mother I know. I love you because you really are my helpmate. That God, when God created us, He created us for each other. And I love that. I love you because you take care of our family. I love you because you pursue God first and me second. See, when you think something good, tell her. Speak to her affectionately. But ladies, I would tell you this again, just being practical. You can pursue him with affirmation, and that's wonderful. But what he really, I'm sorry, affection, that's wonderful. What he really needs, and guys may not even want to admit this, we need affirmation. But ladies, your man will be the husband that you encourage him to be. When you affirm the good that you see in him, he will grow into what you want him to be. I want to tell you that one of the most powerful and most meaningful parts of my week, it happens almost every Sunday after church. I will ask Liz. I don't get to do it right now because she's doing Kid Men, but I'll ask Liz about the sermon, and I just want her and listen. I appreciate when I get maybe an attaboy at the door on the way out. That's cool. Um, but compared to what she thinks, it doesn't really matter a whole lot what I get in the foyer following worship. That makes sense? What she says makes all the difference in the world. And it makes a difference. And I don't I I don't know if it happens here. It's happened at churches that I've been at before, where it's like the preacher and his sermons for lunch, right? Sometimes folks will kind of chew on the preacher following church. That doesn't matter to me at all. Um, if she is proud of me and she expresses that makes all the difference in my life. What she says has the power to make or break me. And I can, in the moment, I can act like, as I want to be, macho man or whatever, I can act like it doesn't matter, but man, it does. Listen, ladies, I want to encourage you in this. And man, I know this is hard because I know men, we're not perfect, but try not to tell him what he's not, right? That's so defeating. Like when you say you're not this, or you're just not doing this, or you're not doing that. Well, most men are just going to take their ball and go home. Like we don't want to play anymore. Even in the moments when we're not quite where we need to be, when you build us up, we grow into the man you hope us to be. And listen, this is true whether you're married or not. You will never criticize your way into a better, happier, healthier relationship. It just doesn't work. You'll never criticize your way into what you want it to be. You see, lady, your husband needs to hear you answer. The question that he's really asking is, do you believe in me? Do you, again, I think Paul understood, as he wrote in Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22, the wives submit to their husbands. That's not a power grab. Your man needs to know that you respect him, and that you are behind him, and that you are cheering him on. And I believe this with my whole heart. That there's nothing more powerful for men, or more influential for men, than to know that our wives believe in us, that they're proud of us, that they respect us. And so anytime that you think something good, just say it. And number two, when you think of something special, do it. Anytime you think of something special, right? Just do it. I think we could loosely prescribe James chapter 4 and verse 17 of this principle. You remember what James said? He says, so for the one who knows the right thing to do and does not do it, for him it is sin. And so anytime you think of something good that you could do to bless someone else, well, then just do it. Listen, so some of you have been in the game for longer than me, and I recognize this, and some of you men probably already know this, but one of the most romantic things you could do for your wife is do the dishes for her after supper. Right? You get the kids ready for bed, grab her favorite soda or coffee from the store and surprise her with it. Pursue your wife in the good things that you do for her. Buy her flowers, or whatever it is, right? And let me say this as well. Uh, if there's ever an opportunity to do something like that in front of other women, man, like the brownie points just multiply. Right? Every once in a while, it's okay to do something crazy. Right? Do something that seems stupid to everybody else. Take her on a date night in Destin. Right? Be creative. Right? Write a love letter. Like, that's things we used to do in high school, maybe. Well, man, sneak one in her lunch bag before she goes to work. Liz used to decorate my calendar and other things with little sticky notes all over everywhere. That was, sweet of her. And then just be creative as you pursue your spouse. If you think of something special, just do it. And number three, in your pursuit, when you think of something different, let me back up. When you want something different, be it. You've probably heard before that the grass always looks greener on the other side. Can I just offer some advice that, again, could save not just marriage relationships, but really pertains to any relationship, especially the marriage relationship. When the grass starts to look greener on the other side, tend to your own grass. And men, I want to challenge you in this first. Take the lead. Most of the time, women, and this, I don't mean this to sound like an insult. It's certainly not. Women are responders. Women are multipliers. Again, I don't want that to be an insult to anyone, but it's the way that God made women. It's how it's how you've been designed, and it's beautiful. Like you take what a man gives you and you multiply it. Right? I give Liz my love, and she multiplies it and gives me a family. Right? I give her a house or a place to live, and she multiplies that into a home. Right? I can tell you that there's a vast difference when Liz. There's been a very few times where, for whatever reason, Liz has not been able to be home, and when she's not there, it's not a home anymore. Right? It's just an empty house. I make her laugh, and she multiplies that into joy. I mean, if you don't like what you're getting out of your marriage, I want you to ask yourself, what am I putting into it? And instead of complaining about what we're not getting and then going somewhere else to look for it, I just ask, what can I give to the marriage to make sure that I'm always pursuing my number two? And let me just give you two quick principles on this third rule that we have here. Number one, to get what you never had, do something different, right? Sometimes I'm reminded of the definition of insanity. Familiar with the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And sometimes I think that's true of the way that we pursue our marriages. And so if you really want something different from your marriage, maybe you need to try doing something different, pursuing your marriage in a different way. Do something, try something new. For goodness sake, and let me say this, and I don't know if this is going to upset anybody. Well, one of the most foolish things you can do is to assume that help like counseling or therapy is only for the weak. I believe wholeheartedly that every marriage would benefit from a good Christian counselor, if for no other reason than just to have a referee every once in a while, right? Listen, I need that sometimes. If what we're doing isn't working, stop doing it. Try something different. And number two, to go back and get what you once had, and do what you once did. Again, it would be insane for me to just keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to get something different out of it. It would just be as insane to keep changing it up if what you were doing was working once before. And so maybe in the times when things seem cold or things seem hard or that person seems very cold toward you, and you think back to the tenderness and the romance of a different time. Well, think about trying to pursue your spouse with the same romance and the same tenderness as of before. And it's not like it's going to be an overnight fix. You can't just, this is true of anything in life. You can't just do something once, decide it doesn't work, and never try it again. And it doesn't work that way. And so none of this is just an overnight fix, but over time you can continue to pursue your spouse in the tenderness of affection and affirmation of that person. And over time, it could continue um, to soften a cold or hard heart. Listen, a little bit can go a long way. And then it can begin to snowball. And before you know it, you can have again what you once had. See, friends, marriage isn't something you win once, right? It's similar to what we're talking about baptism. It's not the end of something, right? Marriage isn't the end of, and you don't reach a pinnacle at marriage. Marriage is the beginning of something. We don't just win it once and then hang it on the wall like a trophy. It's a covenant that calls for continued pursuit. Because when you start, or when you stop pursuing, you're going to start drifting. And the moment that we grow lazy is the moment our marriage grows cold. But if you keep chasing your spouse, chasing after her heart with your words, with the things that you do, with your own character, your marriage can flourish the way that God designed it. So I just want to ask, what step of pursuit do you need to take this week? Is there perhaps something that you need to say to your spouse? Is there something that maybe you've been thinking about doing and just haven't yet? Is there something that you need to do? Is there something that, again, maybe you just need to try something different? Maybe you just need to be something different. Someone your spouse can lean on and respect and admire. Laziness will always lose, but your pursuit of that person can always win. And whatever you need to do, whatever you maybe notice in your own relationship, and this could even apply to things that aren't uh, in the marriage relation. Maybe it's another relationship in your life. And these same rules would apply in what you need to do next in that relationship. But whatever it is, the next best step today is to pursue your number two. Pursue your number two. Would you join me in prayer?